Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM21, Zero to Hero, episode 15. We survived an absolute scare last season. We did not win the league. We managed to get second, which involved a promotion playoff that we then went and won 4-0, securing our future in the Vanarama National League North. Presumably, we haven't had schedules released, so we're not officially placed in the division just yet. Stature increased significantly. We're going to take a look at just how far that has pushed. But one thing I noticed that we'll look at first is Man United, who is now the second club behind Man City. That's hard pill to swallow as somebody who grew up a Man United fan. But anyway, still Solskjaer as head coach. Fernandes is the captain now. Pogba's still there, the vice captain. Rashford still the key player. So that core is still in place. But the reason why they have maintained a good profile despite only finishing third, second, third over the previous recent seasons is what they've accomplished of late. And that is quite phenomenal. 2021, 2023, and 2024 Champions League winners. 3 times in the last half decade. 3 times they have won the Champions League. That is why they have done what they've done. Why they've maintained their profile. And why they're managing to recruit players that are slowly growing them back into true contenders. Of course, they've had just the one runner-up season in the Premier League. With 4 straight Premier League championships, Man City has finally moved to the top of the reputation meter. Of course, in real life, they still lack a proper reputation with only a couple championships and a crap ton of oil money forcing that issue through, and no fan base really to speak of. In years and years and years, I think I've come across a single Man City fan and a single Man City jersey locally. Yes, I'm in the U.S., but obviously, like NBC spends a lot more money, a lot more than any other TV network in the world for what they're presenting. So actually coverage is better in the US than anywhere else. So I know we get a lot of heat because we call it soccer. Our fandom is well deserved and well earned, and I've woken up many Saturday mornings at 4:30 to watch games live. Man United slipped to second. Liverpool, of course, slipped to third after 5th place in the season. They're lucky to still have a 5-star reputation. Of course, Man United went through something similar, but they've done it with a much greater marketing scheme than what Liverpool's accomplished. Tottenham, so close, level on points. Oh, they deserve that win. Unfortunate for them. Chelsea make it 5 teams at worldwide rep. Arsenal, I can see why they have struggled of late. Leicester, Everton, similar reputations. Anyway, there's your Premier League setup. But where are we? We're going to be down here quite a ways. We were about a third of the way. Let's start from there. So obscure, going up. Where will we be? So I think we're at about 40%. But, I mean, come on. We got to be higher than that. That's already into local, so are we there, or have I already started too high? Still has our rep, but local. I mean, that's a big step. There we are. We are in local rep now, so we have really climbed the charts. I mean, we're looking at, what would you say, top 20% now? Top 20%. So we have gone from literally zero reputation to the top 20% of all English football clubs in just a handful of seasons. Plenty of work still to do. I mean, we want to climb out of that half-star rep, but how close are we to that? Where does it begin? Well, there's our first sign of 1 star, but that's teams that are losing rep. Where do we hit the point there? there is where the 1-star rep begins with Harrow. We're not that far away from it. We don't have that much further to go. I would think if we see promotion this season, really if we don't, we still might hit it anyway. But if we see promotion this season again, guaranteed we have got to hit 1 star. That would be nice. We've come a long ways. Speaking of, where have we technically come? Facilities were downgraded, but not a problem. We'll take care of that. Finances are secure. Let's see, where are we? A 1476 out of 10,000 from nothing a handful of years ago. So realistically, we're at 15% of what it could be. Club attendance did grow quite a bit. Remember, it lingered. It stayed the same. We were at like 108, and then it was 111. This last season, it was nearly 150. So that definitely went up. Facilities, again, wow. 2 things have dropped, training and corporate facilities. But that's the magic of the game. That's the magic of the editor, and that's the magic of the playthrough that we're doing. Perfect facilities are maintained for the club. Another big thing you might have noticed is we have moved. We are now renting Highbury Stadium. Fleetwood. This is Fleetwood Town Stadium. Our stadium was too small. Good stadium there in Blackpool, mechanics, but we have now rented Highbury Stadium out of necessity because as we've moved into the National League, we are now required to have a stadium of a certain size, and what we had was not of that size. Our seating capacity was not of that size. You'd figure this has got to be temporary. As we continue to move up in a year or two, we'll be building our own stadium, something we've never had. You'd figure that at some point that will be the case. We won't just keep renting, right? Hopefully. Fleetwood Town, by the way, is just a couple miles up the coast. It's still basically, it's a suburb of Blackpool. So it's right there on the same peninsula, just on the northwest edge, right smack in the middle of Fleetwood Town. Now, as for me, for the 3rd season in a row, the club has denied me the ability to, might even be 4 seasons in a row, has denied me the ability to go on a coaching course. Actually, it was 3 seasons in a row. I forgot to ask one of the seasons. So technically 4 years in a row, I've been denied the possibility. And the same excuse keeps getting used of, we fear that you're going to go sign for a bigger club if we allow you to train as a coach. You got to be kidding me. All right. Hands-on approach, obviously, with the play style. I get a 6%. We do the occasional, at least it's not 0. Reputation has grown. It's at 25% from nothing. So the club has grown to 15%. My reputation has grown to 25%. So I'm getting a fair bit of credit for what we've done. Media handling is there. I skip a lot of that, but at least I get some. Loyalty to players is okay. Mostly that's just because they keep gutting our under 23s and under 18s. I'm handling that a little better than before. I'm more on top of signing youth players to future deals before they exit that youth category, that youth rating, because it's where we keep losing them over and over and over again. We have a new assistant coach. We'll take a look at him here. I suppose now is a good time to do so. We've had a couple of coaching changes, but Oldfield, this partially came out of necessity. Francis got a deal to go coach for somebody else. The day that Oldfield signed, like an hour before he signed, Francis's deal fell through, but we signed Oldfield an hour later anyway. Because, well, he's better, and he is a gegenpress guy, so that's going to help with us. Man management's up there, ability potential are up there, but coaching, He's actually going to help us with coaching, and he's got a bit of a reputation. This is the first time that we're starting to see coaches with a bit of reputation willing to sign for us. Oldfield was a player, played for Man City, so he's got some history there. Also played for Leicester, Millwall, but here he is now on our coaching staff. He's head coach by nature. He's got a little bit of a history as a head coach, recently for Oxford City, but he's been without a job for a year plus, and we bring him in now. That's a good signing, especially from where we were, and especially from where I am. Going back, let's see how bad am I, or how much better I am than I was a little while ago. Motivating, working with you. Oh, wow, those have grown. Remember, those were the only stats that were above 1. Motivating, working with the youngsters, I think they were both like a 6. Still not a very good coach, but considering this is just natural progression over 5 years with only literally a single coaching badge, that's not too bad. And haven't had a coaching badge in 4 years, so a little bit of progression is expected. Not much, though. Really not much. But we are making some progress. Man management's coming up. Discipline's coming up. Player knowledge. All of it is growing naturally over time. Getting better. Remember, we were straight 1s with those 2 exceptions. So, progress being made. It's a little bit sad that I just can't get anything going when it comes to club support and developing as a coach, which would obviously be helpful for the team. Okay, let's get into our new season. Last thing here before we jump into our first game, I have made some changes to the senior squad. A handful. Called up from either the U18s or U23s, Paul Ando from the U18s. 65 already. That's pretty good. That puts him just outside of our developing core of starters. Aspinall, the only reserve player outside of that. Jameson, the only one below that. Jameson, I tried to bench. He won player of the season. Of course, he actually got to play the whole season and had 17-17. He had a really good season. He nearly outscored Phil Skelnis, who missed half the season. Jameson, well, there's a reason why Jameson is the player that he is, and why we've got like Barbados, who could move into his position, and I just about did, and I just about put somebody else into his spot, like say Andy Fenton was one of the choices. But here's why Jameson remains in the side. He's terrible on defense. His physicals aren't great. His mental is only okay. Of course, he's very young. That develops in years, and that's part of our problem as a team as we're growing. Mentally, we're a step below a lot of these other teams. So while we have some physicals and we have some capabilities, mentally the team's not quite there. And that's mostly just because it's still a very, very young team. But you can see he is built with an okay amount of speed, but he is the vision, the attacking, the technicals that you want in your forwards. It's there. He's not a complete player, but he's got kind of the bases that has allowed him to succeed in his role. Not a complete player, but overall, he does just enough. O'Callaghan was top contender for coming in and taking over, or Fenton with the potential. Grundy gets the call up as a 59-131. Definitely the best player around, who was not terribly good, but developed enough over this last season. He's still obviously not ready to properly contribute, but he'll develop. He'll develop getting some minutes at the senior level. Tunnicliffe is the other one we brought up. Center mid, good potential, and is okay. I only sent a few guys down, or a couple guys down. Lowest contributors, George White was the one I was a little reluctant to send down, because like Jameson, he played above his ability, played above his weight, managed to contribute quite well for the team. Unlike, say, Sharples, who really had an opportunity. It wasn't awful. I mean, 14 goals in 21 matches and 21 starts is not bad. But considering the comparison, with Skelnis, it was awful, and we struggled, and that's why we ultimately did not win the league, but at least got promotion. Skelnis is back, healthy. He missed 48% of the season in terms of days. He missed over half the games, though, during that stretch, and it hurt so bad. But you can see the growth in the team now. We've got 6 players over 100. We've got a couple guys in the 90s. Skelnis, who was, but because the injury dropped down. Elliott has developed. Williams have developed. Both of those guys have really picked it up from about a 60 when they started. So the team itself is starting to gel, starting to grow into its own. First year as a professional club with some proper coaches, and we're seeing that development, and we're seeing the emergence of ability and not just potential. Even like Harry Jewell, who I kept in the senior squad, was a 39, 125 for 2 full years. Finally, this last season, through mentoring, we got him to become a bit determined, and he's grown into a 53 just over the last season. I would expect he'll be close to a 70 by the end of this season, and that was only 3 appearances off the bench. Of course, I play by some strict rules here. We're not signing anyone. We have that 90-year or 80-year, whatever it was, ban, and so we're not signing anyone. This is all done in-house. This is all grown internally, and we've got the perfect facilities. So as part of that, why would I send somebody out on loan? Well, there would be reasons, right? Playing time at the competitive level can help players develop, regardless of what you're leaving behind in facilities. That's why some of the world's best clubs still send their young players down to, like, say, the championship to get quality experience there. It happens. It is part of the game. For us, wouldn't necessarily be a benefit, though, to send our players like a Harry Jewell to a rival club at our level. What are they going to gain from that? What kind of competition is that really going to help? So our own under 23s, our own 18s, I am restricting myself to everything being done in-house. Now, that's enough time. Okay, let's go ahead and get to a season opener, and let's kick off a new season, presumably in the North Division of the National League. We're in. We've made it. 6th tier. Here we come. Last season was a tough one. What can we do this year? Season preview does have us picked to win the league this season. Interesting setup that they have us placed so highly. It also looks like #United was placed in the South Division, surprisingly, considering they were playing in the same division as us previously. But there you have it. So 310 odds. But you can really notice that we are getting higher up, that the players around us are getting better, because we used to dominate the Dream 11. We're still up there. Hoey, Simpson, Barreto, Thomas, all making the list. But Boston United has 3 players as well on the list. And 3 players for whoever that might be. Adu, Garbu, Sturgis. That's Chorley. So top 3 teams all having at least 3 players, and we only have 4 in that side. So we might be strong, but we're not that strong. Hoey, Holmes, top key players to the league, but that's it. Buck stops there. Barreto is desperately trying to force a move out of the team here as we go to start the season. Of course, it's only August 9th, so he's got plenty of time to make that happen. We've already gotten a $30,000 offer, and they're getting slowly but surely higher and higher day by day. Let's go ahead and begin the season, but we'll see how much longer Barreto is still a member of the team, in which case, with just 3 players in that top 11 and 2 other teams also having 3 players, I don't know how much we would be favored, especially after the way we struggled last season. Coaching staff has certainly improved, so we'll see if the development side of that can keep pace, because the actual skills side, really does not give us a significant advantage. It does over the lower, Kings Lynn, Blythe sadly going back down, yo-yoing after they just got promoted last season. But that top 11, top 20 or so, top 12 or so are probably going to be pretty competitive and pretty tough, and I don't expect we'll score any more points than what we scored previously. Just, can we hang on? Can we be consistent? Can we be healthy? That Skelnis injury really, really made last season a lot tougher than it could have or should have been. Not the season opener, but the home opener, playing in our new stadium for the first time. Of course, it's not our stadium. We're just renting this one. But a few changes to the side. We did win 4-0 in the opener on the road, which was a tremendous start to the season. But between that game and training over the last week and a half, we've already picked up 2 large, not major, but not minor either. Oh, as we banged that one off the post. That was Jameson hitting the outside of the post there. That was so close to having enough curl to come back and get in that goal. Anyway, 2 more than minor injuries as Skelnis picks up the turnover. He's got a second chance and flashes that one all the way across the line. Somehow gets it in from nearly out of bounds, and it's 1-0 in the 4th minute of this game. Terrible turnover there. Skelnis does not do very well on the first attempt at it, but the keeper couldn't push it hard enough from close range, perhaps. Couldn't get enough push to push it out for the corner, and Skelnis pounces on it and finishes it off. Nice ball over the top. Barbados, good ball off the chest to control, and he goes near post. Cartwright this time smothers it and hangs on to it. Anyway, Holmes and Bridges both with, again, more than minor injuries that'll see them out for a little while. So at the moment anyway, not the kind of problem or threat that we had a season ago, as that one is pushed from Cartwright off the bar. We've hit the woodwork twice already in this match in just the first 14 minutes. And we've managed to grab a goal as well. So we've gone very, very close 3 times. Great header from Skelnis to Jameson. And Jameson, just wide. That actually for a moment was looking like it would be going in. Let's go ahead and speed this back up to our normal, though, now that we're into season. This is still where we kind of left off with that promotion playoff from last season. And Skelnis forces the turnover, also opens some space, gets another chance, and there it is. 2 goals in 20 minutes. Skelnis, 2 matches in, already has 4 goals. Just a great interception on that gegenpress, forcing the ball backward. Bit too long on the pass. Cartwright expecting me to go near post, as we have on the previous 3-4 attempts. Cartwright kind of leans the wrong way and opens that far post up, and we put it home. Possession's only 51-49, but 9-2 now on the shots, and it's been all us through the first half hour of this one. Anyway, with the those injuries, Ando is already getting some game time, and in the first appearance for him now is Grundy playing at fullback. Oh, taken down in the box, and this, I hate that penalty. Absolutely despise that penalty. I mean, I'm glad we got a goal, and it's 3-0. Skelnis. Hat trick already? Is it? Did he score all 3 now? It is. It's Skelnis on the hat trick already in the first half here. But I'm not a fan of that penalty. As we hit the woodwork, Jameson, identical, just about an inch further in than where he was right away in the first few minutes of the game there, as he nearly makes it 4 for us. 3 times off the woodwork in that first half, and yet somehow it's already 3-0 despite that. Anyway, I hate that type of penalty. There was no chance of goal. That ball was going out of bounds regardless of what Jameson does, and he's a foot inside the box where he gets tripped up. What happened to the days of old where you see something like that and the ref runs up, calling the foul, which it looks like he was held and tripped up. Okay, fine, foul, sure. But runs up, and instead of pointing to the penalty spot, runs up and points to a spot a few inches outside the box. I miss those days, because there is no way that had any chance of being a goal. So why would it be a penalty, right? You stop a goal scoring chance. It should be punished duly. But to punish for that, for something that had no hope, no chance whatsoever, a foul is a foul, I get it. But if it's in the box like that, near the edge of the box and back to the goal and no chance of, anything amounting from it, where's that rule where the ref has the discretion to point to a spot outside the box? Anyway, we lead 3-0 as a result. Deservedly on the score part. I mean, with 3 times off the woodwork and the total domination, that's all deserved. That third goal, that penalty, though, all right. They're happy. Let's get into the second half. We might even have a chance to bring in another few young guys and give them a chance. Here's Jameson. Nice ball into field. Skelnis to the defense. Steps up, forces the tackle, clears it out. Here's Ando on the edge of the box. Williams bangs it off the woodwork. Did he not? It was hard to see what happened there in the chaos. Bodies everywhere. I didn't hear a big clang, but it certainly looked like it was off as Thomas picks this one up after it's blocked. Resets to Elliott. Elliott finds Barreto. Barreto just over the top. By the way, huge news. Barreto has changed his mind. He was forcing the transfer move after we didn't support it earlier on, and now he's decided that he's okay, that he's happy to stay. So big move for us. That doesn't mean the offers are going to stop coming in, but it absolutely could decrease the number of offers, decrease the amount of the offers, and it drastically increases our chances of hanging on to him. Barbados with a knock here. That is definitely time for a move. Let's get him off before something happens. We'll bring in... Oh gosh, I have so many left wings, but yet none of them are here. Disallowed, offside. I didn't even see it. Ando over the top. And yes, it is offside. It couldn't be clear with the edge of the box there. It's Jameson. Jameson straight off, but the domination continues. Ando is tired. Let's give a shot, even though he's a young guy. Let's get Tunnicliffe in there. I'd also love to see Jewel get some time as he is starting to develop, so we'll use our last sub on him. Let's also drop this to balanced. Oh, great control from Skelnis. Dang. He gets it back. Here's Kerr. Nice little move there. Bit far for that kind of shot, but nice move. Into stoppage time. Can we hang on to the clean sheet? So far, so good. They create a chance out of it with their guy on the corner of the box, but he blasts it over. And this is the final seconds. There's Jewel in possession. Back to Hoey. Clears it out. Game over. Victory. Comfortable. 7-0 on our goals to start this season. It will not stay like that for sure. Our health is going to be really important. Is Barbados going to be out for a while or not? With that disallowed goal, we hit the back of the net 4 times. We hit the woodwork 3 times. It could have been so much more than it was. But even then, I'd say it should be 2-0. All right, we're only going to do a single check-in. Looking at the time here. We're going to do a single check-in. We're going to push forward instead of the usual 6 weeks. Let's go ahead and push forward 8 weeks and see what happens. See you back in a moment. Well, I only ended up pushing a month ahead, but things changed in that month in a bad way. We cross over into September, transfer deadline day. I went to do a check-in, and things had gotten a little chaotic on deadline day. Lots and lots of larger offers coming in for all of our core players, all of them, with a couple exceptions. The exceptions being the injured guys, which that list grew. So over the last month, Phil Skelnis out again for a month and a half. So another big injury for him. Hoey and Thomas, the same two guys we were missing at the end of the season, now gone. One of those deals, happy. One of those deals really kind of ticked off. So Sam Thomas, out of nowhere, he had a $350,000 release clause. It was deadline day, and a few moves, a few offers had come along, but not much for Thomas at all. And then all of a sudden, Cardiff just comes along and goes, "Oh yeah, no, we'll pay $350 straight up." And there goes Sam Thomas. But the Hoey one, that ticked me off a little bit. So Hoey had something like 1 billion offers. Obvious exaggeration, but tons and tons of offers coming in. And they started pushing 80, 90,000, 100,000, 115, 120, $150,000 offers. Dozens of them. And almost every single one of them was straight up. No future money or anything. It was straight up 120,000, 140,000. And then they just say yes to Middlesbrough with a $58,000 offer that could eventually become 105. Just out of nowhere, the board's just like, yes, Middlesbrough. Oh yes, thank you. We'll take your pennies compared to everybody else's large donations. And then I never even saw Hoey sign a deal with them. Just that they accepted a deal with Middlesbrough, and then that was that. And he was gone. It was very strange. The good news about Hoey is that gives Aspinall the go ahead, and he's already a 100 plus player, and we have plenty of depth at keeper. Hoey, no major loss, though technically he was our best player and he was our team captain, so that part's going to hurt. Sam Thomas one's going to hurt a whole lot more. Just like I said in that penultimate game, without Thomas, we struggled to create anything. He came back for the playoff final, and we crushed it. We have a strong midfield when it's complete, when it's intact. And when you add Phil Skelnis on top, we do fairly well normally. That was worrying. It's been 2 years since we lost anything, so it was inevitable. But it certainly hurts our chances in the league being down a couple more players. Speaking of our chances, through 6 matches, we have taken 1 loss. We lost to Barrow at home 1-0. Barrow is one of the top teams, so there is that. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time as we have a go in a division we might sit in for a season or two if we struggle to get the right players coming in through intake. This last season was a little better. We got those couple guys up there. Development side is a little bit better, but hanging on to players, a real challenge. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.